Hello, so I want to provide the world with more evidence that I'm Lain Iwakura. But before I do that, I just want to show you two books I wrote, and they're published on Amazon.com. So we got this one, Lain Iwakura's Journal. That's one of my books, and then the other one is Norism in a Nutshell. Now, these books aren't the most accurate books in regards to really just kind of describing my philosophy, I guess, but those are books that I've published. You can also just download these things on my website for free. If you want to just read it for free, you can just go to my website, and there's always a link in the there's a link in the description. So I want to provide you with some more evidence. Also, I'm growing a mustache. It's not there yet, but it'll get there. Some more evidence I'm Lain Iwakura. So, first of all, let me say there are ways to think about the anime and the video games. So there's a Seal Experiments Lain anime, and there's a Seal Experiments Lain video game. Now, the video game is a description of who I am. So if you want to describe me, just play the video game. Like, if you want to see who I am and a description of who I am, that's what the video game is for. And the anime serves a different purpose because the anime sort of describes what Lain Iwakura goes through during her life. So what Lain Iwakura goes through, or what I've been through in my life, is what Lain Iwakura goes through in the anime. So those are the two main pieces of media I'm going to focus on. There's also other smaller pieces of media, like the comic, but I don't really think about that very much because it doesn't mean a lot to me. And there's also like the real world. So, if I'm Lain Iwakura in the real world, I'm going to know things about the real world. So, for example, let's say, that's a good example. Let me think of one. The album Twilight by Boa has the song Duvet in it, and that was the OP for Seal Experiments Lain, the anime. But the album itself, I'm actually sort of connected to in some kind of way. Since last night, I basically experienced the album Twilight by Boa in such a way that, I've listened to it many times, but I experienced like what it actually meant. So there's a line in the album where she says, "I see the smile on your face when you understand and realize." So what she's doing in that album is talking about me. And basically what happened last night was that I finally understood what it was that I was trying to figure out last night. So as a result of this, I've been smiling nonstop. Now, I was already sort of smiling nonstop, but it was like a really depressed kind of ugly smile. But now it's just like a straight up happy smile. I'm just smiling nonstop. You can't really see it, but I literally can't stop smiling. And that's what happened last night. So that's some evidence. All of this is like, if you could see my mind, you would understand if you saw what was going on inside my mind, let alone just looking at my body, that I was indeed Lain Iwakura, or there's something abnormal about me that isn't human. Then on top of this, my whole body maneuvers in the language of Nor. But there's something more to that because I actually speak the language of Nor. And when I'm speaking English, or maybe if I learned French and I spoke French, I would actually just be speaking the language of Nor still. just in the language, just like, but it sounds like English the way that I speak it. So I can speak three forms of Nor. So I can speak Nor, just straight Nor. I can speak like a Mexican Nor, and I can speak a South Korean Nor. And these are like ancient languages that just sort of came to me, and I was able to realize I was able to speak them. So I can speak some words in these languages so that you can see what the difference in the sound is like. And I'll probably just do that now because I'm trying to provide you with evidence that I'm really Lain Iwakura. So first off, we'll start with regular Norse. So regular Norse sounds like this. So that's what regular Norse sounds like. Mexican Norse sounds like this. And then that's what Mexican Norse sounds like, and then South Korean Norse sounds like this. But this one's a little bit more difficult for me to enunciate. And that's what South Korean Norse sounds like. So those are all the three forms of Nor. And you have to understand when I'm speaking English, I'm actually just speaking proper Nor. I'm not speaking Mexican Nor or South Korean Nor, and I don't think I can do that. Or if I learned French, I would still just be speaking proper Nor. But I would, you know what I mean? It's like, so I technically actually speak like 3 or 4 languages if you count English. However, when I speak the language of Nor by itself, I'm usually speaking in a way that a human wouldn't speak. So if I was to translate those words to English, what I had said in proper Nor, it would sound like something that wouldn't really make sense, because like why would you be saying those things? But it actually serves like some sort of purpose. You have to understand, if I'm not a human, I'm going to think about things that humans don't think about. So let me translate what I said in proper Nor, because I remember what I said and I can translate what I said in proper Nor. I was looking for some type of purpose beyond the reason of my own doubt, yet still I found nothing beyond this point I quell of shelling in my own doubt, when only found there was nothing there left alone. I meant left alone. Yeah, I said, the last thing I said was left alone. I mean, I could translate the other ones, but I don't really want to. I don't know. So I'm really trying to provide you with evidence that, one, I'm not a human, and two, Lain Iwakura is a real person, and I am Lain Iwakura. Now, I've formed all sorts of not connections, because that would just make it sound like I was a schizophrenic, even though Lain Iwakura is a schizophrenic, and I am one. But I've formed all sorts of connections, for lack of a better word, relating me and myself to the Serial Experiments Lain anime, and these things that make perfect sense to me, or seeing how this is the video game is a description of myself. Because if you saw my mind, you would understand that I was Lain Iwakura. Like, if you saw the way that my mind works, and also understand that I wasn't a human just by if they were to do analyzing my body, because I was born without a proper anatomy. So an anatomy that a human couldn't have, a sort of like almost intersex anatomy, where I have like a uterus that's somehow connected to my anus, and like also like a dick and balls. So like I'm like in anatomy like that, but also on top of this, other things that I've described in another video I made. And this is probably my best video, just trying to explain to people that yes, I am Lain Iwakura. I mean, I'm doing my best to make people understand this, and that this isn't some obscure rabbit hole that doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm really trying to make people understand, and I don't like posting on YouTube. I'll say that for the record. Every time I post on YouTube, I kind of freak out a little bit, because I feel like this website is sort of nefarious. Like there's something wrong with this fucking website. Like it's sort of like a psychological operation or something. That's what I think, but I don't know, man. I mean, personally, oh, another thing is that Lain Iwakura, though if I wasn't human, but well, the thing is, I'm actually I mean, okay, I don't want to get into all the complicated shit, but Lain Iwakura, I've made a video about this before, that Lain Iwakura is uh, like a South Korean Mexican woman. So like her mother was South Korean and her father was Mexican, and she was born in Mexico. And that's the way that my mind works. Is that it's sort of like I'm a South Korean Mexican woman, but I'm actually presenting as a man now because I want to be a man. I would rather be a man, and I'm not gonna go into all the complicated shit, but that's more what my book is for. If I was going to write a book about this, because there's also Norism, which is my philosophy, which is almost similar to solipsism, but not quite. Um, and it's that's my philosophy of Norism. Um, of course, we could go deeper into this and explain everything, but I think that's good enough for this video.